state cannot afford another civil war. What has just happened today is just a total plot that was premeditated, that was well orchestrated and well funded. And you can see from the foregoing circumstances, Sowore himself was aware there was a court order. They violated every inch of that court order. And does that mean a presidential candidate of another political party who is just an opposition also had one or two issues that he is also promoting, which is anti-democracy? And it's a politically intended protest to destabilize the country. This protest is against the judiciary, and I'm very much disappointed seeing Mr. Roy Ajoko, who is the lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu, at that same rally. Is a prejudice. As a lawyer, you are not intended to equally raise such intentions against a sitting court that is ongoing in a matter. And specifically, we have to go down to memory lane. Who is this person that is undergoing criminal prosecution? That is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has a record, criminal records that showed how people were massacred upon his instructions, and several other carnage.
This man children will be very ashamed of him. I'm telling you guys the truth. If Naya Papa be this, I'm sorry. You don't even get Papa. Do you understand now? Because I never see the reason why somebody in his right senses will tell us that a lawyer does not have right to protest. Okay, lawyers are living in another country, not Nigeria. I don't understand. What part of Nigerian law prohibits lawyers from exercising their fundamental human right to protest in this country? That is by the way. And this man opened his mouth, shamelessly lying. What audacity to lie on national television that Nnamdi Kanu perpetrated killings. Do you understand now? This is another blatant lie from this man that his children will be very ashamed of him.
Your coalition has issued a statement, and some of the things you've said is why we have brought you here to explain. You say that today's protest was a decoy to set the nation ablaze. And can you tell us on what specific intelligence or evidence are you basing that on?
Well, basically, we have to look at the dramatic personnel of the entire protest. This is a politically intended protest to destabilize the country. This protest is against the judiciary, and I'm very much disappointed seeing Mr. Roy Ajoko, who is the lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu, at that same rally. Is a prejudice. As a lawyer, you are not intended to equally raise such intentions against a sitting court that is ongoing in a matter. And specifically, we have to go down to memory lane. Who is this person that is undergoing criminal prosecution? That is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has a record, criminal records that showed how people were massacred upon his instructions, and several other carnage that were carried out by the IPOB and the ESN. Now, Sowore had gone far and wide to destabilize this country. He found solace in the Oheze Ndigbo and some other Igbo group trying to use and play the ethnic card, having lost validation of some of his antics. Now, going further to using the Nnamdi Kanu as a decoy is a total destabilization. Looking at the entire protest today, validate our fears, which is Atiku Abubakar equally solidarized. It shows that these are the hands of Esau that are really against the state. And Nigerian state cannot afford another civil war. What has just happened today is just a total plot that was premeditated, that was well orchestrated and well funded. And you can see from the foregoing circumstances, Sowore himself was aware there was a court order. They violated every inch of that court order. And does that mean a presidential candidate of another political party who is just an opposition also had one or two issues that he is also promoting, which is anti-democracy? And for us, as a coalition of Southern groups, we sat and we looked at the entire scenario. If these protests were geared towards something that has to do with our democracy, we will all rally around. Democracy is for all of us. But this is not a protest. This is a plot to cause war. And we have seen every ingredient of it, that it is a means to mislead the Igbo people. The Igbo people are our friends. We don't have any enemy in the Igbo people. But nobody should use them as a cannon fodder to mislead them into what they have no intentions to be part of.
Senior advocate, back into this conversation. Mr. Hassan, let me just ask you, if you have so much evidence, concrete evidence, as you say, would you be pushing this further, other than this press statement, to say this was a decoy to set the nation ablaze? What are you going to be doing with your evidence?
Yes. Yes, from the last End Bad Governance protest, go and look at the old rhetorics, was to shut down and commit the government into disarray. That was one of the agendas Showore has been promoting. And I've stand to correct it that you are not the only activist that can be telling the whole world that you have a monopoly to put us into this kind of charades. If you have one or two intent to project, this should not be the only means. The only means you understand in your life, must it be protest? Are you born to be a protester? Can't you just have another means of conversing with the government, or putting up a write-up, of going directly to National Assembly if you have an agenda that is positively intended to project the state? For the fact that we've seen all these evidences, and these are prima facie evidence. It is not that we are manufacturing one. Showore has always been on the heels of creating trouble. For being a troublemaker under the guise of, say, okay, you want to be a showman, by maybe bringing Nnamdi Kanu to the table, let him face the judiciary process. You cannot intimidate the judiciary. I'm a lawyer, for God's sake.
All right.
I cannot.
And that's why I asked you that question, Mr. Hassan.
In a matter you are part of.
But I think you missed the point to say that. I was asking if you have so much evidence against him.
Go and lead the
what are you doing with your evidence?
Matter is defending.
Great. All right. Let me bring back.
The evidences will be, no, as far as we are concerned, we are going to ensure that the law take its course in this respect.
All right, okay then.
Let there be proper adjudicatory process and proper investigation of this scenario. The DSS must look into this, the NS office must look into this, and the IGP.
Okay.
We need to have a lawful society.
All right.
We cannot continue
All right,
to
Mr.
live
Hassan,
like a
hold your
republic.
thoughts. Hold your
This
thoughts.
is a lawful
Let me bring back
nation.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria into this conversation. Thank you for your patience. Before I went to Lagos, you said, you asked a question and you answered that, I mean, is it the right time to go on the streets? And you answered in the negative, saying no. But when the fight for justice leaves the courtroom to the streets, does that not suggest a significant issue in the process of justice adjudication, particularly when similar cases abroad, like that of Simon Ekpa, were concluded in Finland very swiftly? So can you really blame those who feel frustrated with the course of justice when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu?
The matter is still in court. Whether you like it or not, it's in court. The question you ask yourself, who are the causes of the delay in the trial of Kanu?
You are in the system. Tell us.
So
why
you know yourself
that
that Kanu himself, through his lawyers, had made several applications to the court. And in fact, this matter has traveled upstairs. They come back. That's to show you that whose fault. So justice, when you say that you want justice, again, sometimes you need to exercise patience. So, but
justice delayed is justice denied.
We agree, but justice delayed is justice denied. It's not sacrosanct. There are times that you need to take time to gather evidence. When you rush justice again, you amount to injustice. So the issue now is this: the matter is in court. The prosecution has called all their witnesses and closed the case. Nnamdi Kanu Council have raised no case submission. The no case submission has been dismissed. Now the matter is adjourned to 22nd or thereabout for the defendant to open his case. Then why are we in a hurry? Why are you not eager to bring your witness, defend yourself if you are sure of what you are doing? Allow the court to at least exhaust the entire gamut of the time, allow the court to do justice. So upon the conclusion of the case, you still have the right of appeal. The court of appeal, I mean, High Court, Federal High Court judge is one that will preside over your matter. But court of appeal is three. Now, if you allege tribalism, oh, the man there is a Yoruba man, it's an Hausa man, I will not get justice. Okay, let's agree. But you have a right of appeal to the court of appeal. The court of appeal will comprise three persons. So they may not be Hausa as a whole or whatever. Now, at the end of the day, you have complete composition. Now, these people, if the High Court is in error, they may likely correct that error. Now, if the court of appeal is in error, then the Supreme Court is still there. The wisest man. So my position is this: why don't you exhaust the mechanism allowed by the law? And if you are not satisfied, then take it to the public court with your protest on the street. As simple as ABC. But if you are not satisfied with the judgment handed down by the court, the hierarchy of courts, then you can now say, I am not satisfied. Public, please help us.
The waiting game continues, is what you say.
It's not a waiting game. It's not a waiting game. If you want to accelerate justice, if Nnamdi Kanu want to accelerate justice, you can do that. Stop frivolous applications.
Great. All right. Senior Advocate, I'm getting reports by journalists saying that, they cover this protest. The protesters were attacked unprovoked by the Nigerian police with tear gas, and they were not even in those places that were outlawed by the court. So how do you respond to that? To say, they were unprovoked, they didn't have any arms or ammunition on them, but they were tear gas and this passed.
If the police attack the protesters
Yes.
outside the prescribed area,
Yes.
then they have violated the law.
They can't seek recourse.
They can.
Okay.
The right to recourse, the right to remedy. When there is wrong, there is remedy. So if a wrong is alleged, then you can go to court to seek remedy. It's their right. They can do that. But if you carry out your protest where the court has restricted you not to go to, then there's no remedy available to you.
All right. Your last word, Mr. Hassan, on this matter. Do you accept that Nigerians do have the right to protest? And if yes, I mean, can they also say the same of you, stopping them from their protests? You are calling on President Bola Tinubu not to be intimidated and take any actions on this. The protesters can also accuse you of what you accuse them of.
Let us have a straight conversation here. The president is a separate institution that they are bringing into this matter, which is the executive. And I believe if Sowore were to be president today, I'm sure he will run a banana republic. For somebody who does not have a program, all is intended is to legalize marijuana. For us, we have a whole lot to galvanize as a nation. This country needs all of us to rally around President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to sustain our democracy. And this is a Democrat. If it were to be an authoritarian leader at the ends of affairs, Sowore wouldn't have even seen the light of the day to do this kind of a protest. Because this protest, from the word go, is illegal. Because the person that you are protesting on his behalf, Nnamdi Kanu, actually, in the four eyes of the whole world, demanded that people be killed on every Monday. Anybody that violates his order on the sit-at-home order. We are all aware when the husband of Dora Akunyili was shot dead, when a lot of priests and clergy were being killed under the orders of this same man. And I wouldn't know how a lot of our Igbo brothers will not take it up as a sentiment. This is not a matter of sentiment. Let the law take its course. And nobody should intimidate the judiciary.
That's a good
All
place
we
to
are
leave this
calling on is that
conversation.
let justice be manifestly seen to be done. Let them go through the horde of their opening their cases and let them push up their evidence. But nobody should take up arms to intimidate maybe the court. And I want to inform.
Very quickly, Mr. Hassan, if you can hear me.
Shehu Shagari Way. Yes, I can hear you.
Very
Shehu Shagari Way, which they went through Transcorp, was a violation of the court order.
Okay.
So for me, it was an intended, premeditated action to provoke the law enforcement agent.
All right.
We all have to
Senior Advocate of Nigeria,
and see it from the prison that we need to safeguard our democracy, not for us to lead ourselves into war.
Lawyers, well, this is not a courtroom, but thank you so much. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Deborah.